Welcome back to Talent Data Integration course on Udemy. This is Kapil. I am your instructor for this course. In the last video, we have seen how to create or implement slowly changing dimensions using Talend SCD component, and we also learned what are slowly changing dimension and what are its type. So in this lecture, I will walk you through how to implement slowly changing dimensions using Talend Studio without using slowly changing dimension component or SCD component. You might be thinking after watching the previous video, using SCD component is very simple. Why do you wanna even go with something else? Well, it might be any reason, maybe whatever your business rules or reasons are, SCD component don't do it, or you want to implement something different. Maybe one example can be you have a type 1 and type 2 attributes which are doing on the same record, and when you implement type 1, what does it do? It changes it won't put history at all. So if you want, as we discussed in the previous lecture, when we changed the XYZ corporation, not XYZ, when this record changed its supplier code from test company to test new company, and its supplier name from New York to Georgia, and we know that we implemented state as type 1 and supplier name as type 2. So in this scenario, what happens is, since supplier name changed, which is type 2, it will create a new record, and then it will upload this new data, which is test new company and Georgia. But since state is type 1, the New York is not just updated to California, Georgia in the new record, but also old record it will update New York to Georgia. If you want, keep that in the old record, whatever has, then you can totally do that by using whatever I'm going to show you. Or if you watched my previous video, you will learn using Talend SCD component. It won't let you put some value like this. Either it will let you put null, or you can put the year, but the month and date it won't give you the access to. I don't know why, but it won't. But you can totally do the time though. There is an advanced option. You can set the time, but for some reason it won't give you the access for that. Anyways, I mean, if your company is okay with putting 99990101, it's not a problem. But sometimes all your tables are like this, which was already using some different ETL tool than Talend, and when you move to Talend, obviously you don't want to change your data warehouse tables records to this to that. So in that case, you cannot use that. I mean, you can totally use update it after the SCD, but I'm just giving some reasons. It can be any reason that you want to implement slowly changing dimensions in Talend without using the SCD component. That being said, let's get to it. Okay. So let me recap. We have these records in our data warehouse, and we are doing all three types of SCD, which is type 1, type 2, type 3, and state is our type 1, supplier name is type 2, and phone number is type 3, and we created the data warehouse table accordingly, and we have currently these 4 records, and then we are getting this source data, today's source data. So we have these 4 records already existing, and there are some updates. For example, this didn't change. In this record, the supplier name changed. In this, the state changed. In this, supplier name and state changed. This nothing changed, and this is a new record. So let's see, after applying our SCD type 1, 2, and 3 attributes, how the data ends up. If you remember, this is our, after applying those changes, this is what we got in the previous lecture after using SCD component, and we should achieve the same results even using without using an SCD component, right? Okay, so let's design our job. Let's call it Talend SCD without SCD. It's funny, right? Okay, then as usual, let's drop pre-job, post-job, and we have already seen creating the metadata connections. Let's drag and drop, and I will have the connection, yes, and this I don't think it will show the commit though. I guess not, that's fine. Okay, so here we are opening a connection, here we are closing that connection. Apply, and that, good. And here, before doing that, we are going to put the tjava. If you remember our previous lecture, why we are doing that. Okay, let me do the system.out. Connecting to MySQL. That, and another thing I will be doing is context.database, because if you remember our previous lecture, you will know why. Our database name is SCD Talend, and just so we are sure to bring back this table to the original, let me drop this so we don't have that schema anymore. I can drop this too. And let me run the previous job, which creates the database and loads the table. Okay, cool, we got it. So this is our actual data. So after applying the latest source data and type 1, type 2 and type 3, let's see how our data, it should match same data as when we use the SCD component. Okay, let me close this. So we have this, we have that, the next thing again would be that. I'm just gonna copy paste this. Connection established successfully to MySQL. Okay, that should do it. Okay, and then the actual job, which I'm not gonna spend any time on that. I'll just bring in the component from our job. Okay, so this now looks exactly like that, except the SCD component. So we don't have the SCD component. How do we do it? Not to worry, we have tmap to the rescue. This would be my lookup. Since I already have the metadata connection, drag and drop, tMySQL input, oops, connect it, and this, use an existing connection, select the connection I created there, and the table name is that. Definitely I'm not doing this. Select star from SCD underscore talend.scd. Okay, that will bring in everything, but let's check out the schema. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, that works for me. And then, okay, here is the thing now, right? So let's create first total. We want how to implement this is if you remember my previous lecture, I kind of explained you what happens behind the scenes of SCD component. So it just does the exact same thing I'm gonna do, but behind the scenes. So whatever key you are going to mention, source keys, it is going to join on it. So we have to do that here, and it's going to do inner join and unique match. So you will have different outputs here about, so I will name them right now. Type 2 inserts, type 2 updates, and new inserts, and that final fourth one, this one, T log. Let me log first, then we can change that to database later. So this would be type 1 in updates, no inserts. Okay, so what we are doing, why we are doing all this is, okay, so our state is type 1, which means you have to update the record, you won't insert anything. So that's why we have type 1 updates. Then our supplier name is type 2. What is type 2? You will insert a new record and then update the old record, you will effect out. So that's why we have 2, which is you will insert a new record, then you will effect out the old record, so update. Then we have new inserts, because if there is a completely new record, you have to insert it and set the effective in, out, version, and is current. So for that we have that. And the final one is type 3 insert, updates. So you don't insert with type 3, instead you will update, right? So that is type 3. Type 0, as we discussed, like you don't, type 0 is nothing but original value, keep the original value, don't change it, that's it, that is the type 0. So this is how you do it, and the logic now we are going to do is we are joining on it whatever the results we get. Okay, so that we will use it for all these type 1, type 2, and type 3. Whichever rejects we get, which means there are the records that we got from the source doesn't exist or don't exist on the target. When does that happen? Either if you delete it or if it is a new record. So here the thing to note is you can do left outer join without any issue if you have to even consider deleted records. Doing inner join, you won't be able to figure out whether it is a deleted record or an insert record. So in this lecture we are going to assume it is only new records, no deleted record. We won't delete any records, that's what our assumption is. So that being said, so the new inserts, we will update the lookup rejects to capture true, because whatever it rejects, which means those are the new records which the source file couldn't find the keys in the target or in the data warehouse. So that's what we are going to do. Okay, so the new inserts, what we need, obviously we need, in our target we have supplier SK. Okay, we missed very big important thing, supplier surrogate key, and I don't see any surrogate key generator. And SCD comes with a surrogate key generator which does a lot of work for us, but we don't have it now. How do we do it? Well, you might be thinking that we can create a sequence, but again, the sequence won't have, if you create, you won't know the value from the database, right? So in the database I have until 4. So I want the surrogate key to generate it from the next, and I will also have to keep track for each record. So this won't do it. Well, at least however it is now, it won't do it for me. So what I have to do is I need to exactly whatever I did in my SCD, which is I told it to bring the table maximum and then increment it by 1. So that's what I'm going to do it here. So I am going to bring in the maximum surrogate free from my database. How am I going to do? Simple, extract it, input, and then I am going to use a tjava row because I have to put it in the as an system variable or environment variable, and I'm also going to log it so that I will see what is the number, maximum number, so that for debugging purposes it will be helpful. Okay, and I'm going to do this before the actual job triggers so that I will have that value ready to go. Okay, now what am I going to do here? I am going to just not all this actually. I'm going to select max of this, maybe as a maximum surrogate key, then copy this and the schema. Okay, I want to change this to built-in schema and delete everything, add this. Why not valid? Okay, that's why. Come on. Okay, and then obviously this is going to be an integer. Integer, cool. We are good there. Next step is it is going into tjava row. So this is row 3, that is row 4. So I have to tell this row 4 dot that equals to row 3. I'm just outputting that, and the next thing I want to do here is context dot, I'm going to create a new context variable just for it to hold this value, right? It has to hold it. So I am creating you can call max surrogate key context, and it is an integer, and the initial value is I will give it as since it's integer, that's what I will give. Okay, so here let's go here and context dot equal to this value. Good. Okay, and the sync columns, I want to sync that just to output for debugging purposes in here. So I have that now, and I will create a sequence, and this sequence is an integer, and I will go there. Where will it be? Numeric, and this value is the maximum value. Okay, so my sequence starts +1 though. It will take the 5 + 1 6, so that will be my starting value. It will start assigning it to surrogate key. So that we got it. So here the first thing I will be having is the surrogate key column, but this is not the value I want. I want it whatever I want. So these are new inserts, right? New inserts should have the surrogate key, and we get supplier code from source, supplier name from source, state from source. This we have to generate these 3 for 5. These 5 we have to generate them. Talend SCD component was doing it for us, but since we are doing everything here, we have to. And the supplier code, we will get it from the source. Supplier name from the source. We are not saving address, but we can totally do that. State from there, phone number from there. But there are these 3 columns we need. And effective out, phone number, then old phone number and version. Okay, oops. Okay, since this is a completely new record, is current will always be 1, effective in will be today's date. So let's create a variable called start date, and this will be a date, and what I will do is Talend date parse date, then I will get Talend format date, then current date. Okay, that should work. Then I want effect out date too, so I will create another one which I will name it as end date, and this is a date too, and this I want as Talend date parse date, and this will be, so here I can enter my value, whatever value I want. I don't have to care what Talend wants to give. That's what I will give. Okay, so these values are start date and remove end date, and the phone number will be whatever we are getting from there, and the old phone number, this will always be empty. I cannot put empty because I can totally put empty. I think it is an integer. No, it is a string. Okay, it is always empty because this is the new record, first record, so obviously it won't have an old phone number, and the version will always be 1 because it is a new record. So that's done. Click apply. Okay, and it's still complaining because I have these 3. What I can do is I will just place 1 for that, 1 for that, 1 for that, 1 for that. So we have 5, and it's complaining about the output. Okay, so I will just copy all this temporarily to that, oops, what did I do? That's not what I want. That's that, and the last one is this. Okay, so apply, yes, okay, yes, let's run it. Okay, what is it saying? The input file. Okay, my bad. What is it complaining about? Input file, it's not there. Why? I have that file. The system cannot find this. Oh, okay. So happened that Udemy didn't let me upload the file if I don't put the text extension. That's what happened. Edit, next, put dot txt, finish. Okay, it updated it. Let's run it now. Cool. Okay, now we will get all these records because we didn't filter anything, but our concentration is still agro 1, and obviously it is not giving me that. So let's click this, click that. Okay, so I have TLR over 1. Okay, so what we are doing here is, it is saying that all these records are new records, but is that the story? Is that the case? I guess not. So let's see what we did wrong, because we set join and supplier code, and the supplier code. Okay, so what we did wrong is, open up this, and what did we exactly select for this? New inserts, catch, lookup, inner, join, reject to 2. So we are joining on supplier code. So rejects new inserts. Okay. What is it exactly? Is it this? Okay, no, my bad. That is this lagro 5. I am sorry, guys. This is like confusing. So let me new inserts, and this would be type 1 updates, and this one is type 2 updates, and this is type 3 updates, and this one would be type 2 inserts. No, these are type 3, and then what is this? Type 2 inserts. And the final one, oops. Okay, so now let's run it. So we should see only one record for new inserts. The reason being, we have only one new record, supplier code. These 4 are already existing records with minor changes in different attributes. So let's see if that is the case. Okay, new insert, it is saying yes, you have a new insert which is supplier code 5 with this organization name, with this state, and it created a nice surrogate key. Good. And it put the effective in date as today, effective out date as whatever we want, and the phone number and the old phone number version, and is current true. Awesome. So that is working, right? So the new inserts working. Absolutely fantastic. Awesome. Okay, then let's work on type 1 updates. So if you look at our data, type 1 is state. So let's see what all states changed. So this Alabama, the previous is Alabama, so no change, and this is Massachusetts, and it is California, so this one changed. 3 Georgia, New York, so that changed, and this didn't change. So total we have 2 changes. So when I implement something here, I should see 2 changes for type 1 updates. So but how do I do it? Simple. You put a filter, and then you will say that the supplier, it's not supplier, and what is it? State. This state dot equals this state. Oops. Okay, so we have put that, but hold on a minute. If we put an equal to, then why do we update? We don't. We should update when they are not equal to. Exactly, absolutely right. So that's why we will put a not. Simple, right? So let's run it again. I should see two changes under type 1 updates. Okay, I see two. Which are those? The XYZ, which updated from California to MA, and test company, which updated from NY to GA. But do I want the old ones? Of course not. I want the new values here, not the old values. So what should I do? I should go here, and the state, I'm bringing it from the old data warehouse, but I want it from the source, which is row 1. So apply. Okay. Now let's run it again. So now I have the latest ones, which is Massachusetts and Georgia. And remember, type 1, we just override the value, nothing else. The surrogate keys won't change, effective in date, out date won't change, version won't change, nothing changes. We just override the old value with the new value, and we won't have any history. That's what is happening here. Good. The next thing, so I will do type 2 inserts and updates in a single go. Okay, now let's do type 2 inserts. Okay, how do we find type 2 inserts? Simple, right? We check the supplier name, because that is our type 2 column. You can do either of this. So we are checking if that is equal to that, then insert. No, of course not, right? If it is not equal to, then we will insert, just like however we did type 1 updates. We will be doing this. So we will have this same condition for type 2 inserts and updates, but the only difference would be whatever records we get here for the inserts, we will put this is as the current. So this will be, you can put 1, because the new inserts always 1. Effective in will be today's date, effective out will be end date, and this won't change. Version will be whatever old version plus 1, and state will be state, supplier name will be supplier name, supplier SK will change though, surrogate key, because this is a new insert, new record, so it should have new surrogate key. The is current is always 1 for new inserts. Start date, effective in should be the today's date, effective what date, just like, where is it? Well, just like we did it for inserts, we will do it for type 2 inserts, right? So what do we have? We have exactly same, 1, same, everything except the old phone number. We won't put it to empty, because we will put it the old phone number to that phone number. That's it. Okay, so that's all it is for type 2 inserts. So we will capture now type 2 inserts with a new version number and everything. Similarly, for updates, in order to update the existing records, all you need to know is the supplier surrogate key. Based on the surrogate key, we will tell update so and so. What are you going to update? We are going to effect out it. So we need an effective out date. And then we also have to remove the is current status to not current, which is false. So I don't need this, and this. All I need is the surrogate key, so that I can update on, and is current is going to be 0, because this is not an active record anymore. I have to update and the effect out date is going to be today's date, which is the start date. Simple, right? So now let me apply. Yes. Okay. So how many records should I be getting? This is modified, this is modified, this is modified. So 2 records. So I should see 2 records in inserts, 2 records in updates. Okay, let me do that, do that, do that. So type 2 inserts, I said 2 records. I have 2 records, and see with the new supplier surrogate key, not the old ones, new ones, but old key, new company name. I am not getting new company name, which is a good catch. I don't know if you notice it or not. This is the old company name, and I don't know if this is the old, yeah, this is the old state, which is again wrong. I don't want old values, I want new values in them. So inserts, this should be from row 1. All these records should be from row 1. Remember that. Because it's insert, you will get the phone number from there. So it's from there, the phone number, right? And this is type 2 insert, so we won't change the old phone number, so we will still get it from there. So that's how it is going to be. And click apply. Okay. I'm just thinking, do we do this here or not? So we are going to get the new phone number from here. If there are type 1, type 2, type 3 changes on the same record, this is a new insert. So new insert should have new phone number, and the old phone number, since we are not checking it right here, that's fine. We can totally even check it here for the type 3 by putting that, but we will do it, we will get it in the other one. So let's see how this goes. Okay, phone number cannot be resolved. Okay, I didn't. Okay, so I have new company name. Old one is ABC company, new one is ABCD company. Old is test company, new one is test new company. And new state is Georgia, old state is Massachusetts, and this old state didn't change. So that is good. But if you look at this, I have new phone number and it is saying old phone number to be null, which is not good at all. So that is not good, right? That is again the problem with type 1 and type 3. We still didn't apply the type 3, that's why you are seeing that now. So let's apply the type 3, which would be here. So type 3 is simple, just like the others. You will add the phone number dot equals this phone number, and obviously it should not be equal, and then this is going to be an update, so we don't need this, and we are going to update what? The phone number and the old phone number, and the version we don't have to, because version is only related to the type 2. Okay, so we are updating this with row 1, and this phone number would be the last phone number, the old phone number. Okay, so this should have one record now because I changed the phone number only for one record. Okay, cool. So type 3, it is telling me this is the supplier surrogate key, and that key has a new number of this, old number this. Cool. So now everything is in place, but we need to be very careful on what we are applying when we are applying. You cannot apply type 3 first and then type 2, type 1. So we need to apply them in an order. So first we will apply type 1, then on top of it we will apply type 2, and then on top of it we will apply type 3, which means new inserts will go first, type 1 here, here. Okay, let's do it from bottom to up. So now we have all these, but the last step is we need to insert them into the database table. That's our last step. So let's do that. I want 1. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. And this is going to be inserts. So oh, these are all outputs, inputs, I mean. Okay, cool. That should do it. So this is going to be an insert, so default insert that will work. And this is updates. So open up, go here and tell it to update, and obviously if your update has to take effect. Why is it taking this? I don't want that schema. I want schema from my this change to built-in. I don't think I want all that. Sync it. What is this? This is type 1 updates. Okay, yeah, I have to get everything. Okay, cool, that's fine. Is that what it is doing? Right, it is updating everything. Okay, hold on. Type 1 updates. What am I updating? I am not updating the surrogate key, so I don't know why I have surrogate key here. Oh, I need a surrogate key. Supplier code, I don't need it. Supplier name, I don't need it. Is current, I don't need it. Effective in, out. Okay, I am updating that, and here I am updating this, and here I am updating those. Okay, cool, that's all I need. And this is the key. This is very important when you do updates. You need to mention a key. Based on that it will update. And here click that. This is the key. And then here it's already selected. Good. So if you don't select the key, then you will be in a problem. Okay, that's good. Okay, I don't know why this is not showing key. Okay, apply. Yes. So now this should show me only 3 columns. and it will update on this key, it will update the state. That's good. And this is type 2 update. Again I need to go here. I don't want that, I want built-in. I don't think I need that many. Sync. Okay, cool. And since I have this as the key, it will update on that these two values. The inserts go there, so this would be type 2 inserts, and built-in, even though it says all that, I don't want, I want it from here. Okay, and the last one is type 3. Okay, let's put it there. Okay, and this is again going to be update. I know it's a long video, but as I said, without a SCD component it's going to be very hard to achieve it. So let's open up. That's good. That's good. Okay, we are not going to use any of that. So let's see how this is going to be. Phone number cannot be resolved. Okay, what did I do? Okay, that is what I did. Okay, what are you complaining? This is going to be a worker. 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 Okay, run it. Field. Okay, field supplier code doesn't have a default value. db output 3, db output 1. Okay, which one is db output 3 and which one is db output 1? Okay, I think these two. Yeah, okay, what about you, buddy? It don't have a oh, my bad. This is update and this is insert, this is update. Yeah, I know, when you don't name them it's very confusing, so don't do the same mistake as I am doing. Okay, all 5 are done, but none of them has any records. That's because we already inserted them in the first run itself. Okay, so pretty much, you know, this looks at least little bit good, but if you see, it says all are current, which should not be the case. Some should say 0. For example, like the two type 2s, this and this should say zeros there, and this should definitely have an old phone number here, which is not the case, and the rest pretty much don't look good, because again this update didn't happen, so it should put this to 0 and this it should affect out, but did it do it? It didn't do it. So let me drop this, or actually I don't need to drop it. All I need to do is, no, let's run my test job load data. So let's run it. So it will load fresh data. Good. Now go and check out why it didn't update it. So obviously the order matters, as I said. Okay, so modify output links order. I want new inserts to be there, Then I want to update T1, then this. Good, let's run it now. Now this looks better. If you see, there are 2 zeros. Okay, now let's go through this. First is the type 1, my state, which for 2 records I changed it. One is this. Another is that one? No, one is the test company, and another one would be, I think, this. What is the original value? The original value XY is California, the latest value is Massachusetts. Okay, cool. So those two. Type 1, what does it do? It will overwrite it, and it will overwrite even the old records too. The entire records for that supplier code, it will change to the new value. So for the XYZ, the old one is California, test company old one is New York, and it updated that, which means our type 1 worked. Next, type 2, and that is for this and this. So the change, it changed from ABC to ABCD, test to test new. So type 2, insert new record and effect out the old record. So old record, did it effect out? Yes, it did. Effect out today, effect out today. Did it insert new records? Yes, it did insert new records. And if you see supplier code, the key won't change, but the surrogate key will change because it's a new insert. And do you see the new name? Yes. And do you see the effect out date? Yes. So type 2 is working, and version changed to 2, again working. The last one is the type 3, only one record, which is this one. Something doesn't look good here, which would be that. So it did update the old phone number in the old one, but it didn't update the new one. The reason being, we are selecting the surrogate key as the key, so it is not doing that. So either we need to update the type 3 first and then type 2 later. I think we need to do that, because first we need to update everything that goes, and then so all updates we'll do it after this. Okay, that should work, I guess. Yeah, that should work. And the new inserts, you know, it doesn't matter whether they go first or last, because they are new inserts. It doesn't matter. So we cannot just run it. We need to rerun this so that it will load fresh data. Good. And then let's run this again. Cool. ABC company there, ABC company, I still don't see it. Oh, okay, let's say it updated to this. Oh yeah, my bad. I need to also change the type 2 inserts. It is taking the row 2 old phone number. That is the problem here. So we cannot technically change this at all. But we are doing it after type 3. And obviously, okay, so the records are already in, that's why it is not taking it from there. So we cannot do it on the surrogate key, so let's do it on the using the supplier code. That way all our updates will be nice. So let's go there, and this, okay, type 3, remove that, put in the supplier code and update that as the key. And we can do update it for the others too, that's not a problem. So let's run it. my bad. Clean this up. So fresh data, now run it. Okay, it still didn't update it. Wow, why is that? Okay. I don't know why I'm doing, maybe since it's because it's a long video. Long video, maybe that's why. Oops, don't do it. First this. Okay, let's see fresh data. Good. Okay, now let's run this. Okay, cool. So now even the last one, it applied, and we know type 3 and type 1, it will overwrite even the old records. That's why this will update the old records too, just like the state updated the old records with the new values. So that's that. So let's go, and also we can change even this updates to use, I'm sorry, to use, oops, what did I do? So all the updates now you need to update it based on the key, not the surrogate key. I think that's what SCD is doing too. Supplier code here, and set it as the key, and this, remove that key, apply, yes, okay, yes. Now let's run this again one last time. Clear this. I have my latest data. Let's run this one last time. I'm tired. Okay, so we got that there. This updated good, everything is updated and looks good. So I know it's a long video, but I don't want to split it into multiple videos, which will discontinue the flow. So that's how you do it, right? So you have to, if you are going to do all three types, type 1, type 2, type 3. So type 1 and type 3, you need to do updates. Type 2, you need to do an update and an insert, and another one is complete new inserts. That's why we have 5. So if you are not using a SCD component, then this is how you should be achieving it. Do you remember there is an option called save memory on that? So it's simple, like however you have, you can store temp data, or when you click here, you have the option of storing it on disk. So it's something like that, I'm assuming. I don't know exactly, but behind the scenes, when you select that option on SCD, it caches your lookup data in memory and processes it for you. So that's all it, guys. If you have any questions, don't forget to ask a question in the Udemy discussions, and also 9 to 11 EST I will be available on Skype, so you can ask me a question there. And if you are wondering the Skype ID, if you are already enrolled into the course, you can send me a message. I will provide you my Skype ID. Okay, I hope you guys understood this, and I hope you will implement this at your work. Have a great day. Bye.